Hot water pressure washers are ideal for cleaning heavily soiled surfaces. They help you get the job done quicker and more efficiently than a cold water pressure washer. This video will show you the proper startup, operation, and shutdown procedure for a gas-powered hot water pressure washer. As with all gas-powered pressure washers, always operate them in a well-ventilated area. Always wear safety goggles and closed-toe shoes, and protect yourself from the possibility of direct spray. Do not come in contact with the engine, muffler, or heat exchanger. Make sure the pressure washer is on a flat surface and the brake is locked. Check the pump oil and engine oil level before each use. Use 85 octane gas for the engine and either number 1 or number 2 diesel fuel or kerosene for the burner supply tank. Connect a garden hose to the pressure washer and the other end to your water supply. A 20 to 40 psi inlet pressure supply is required. Next, connect the male end of the high pressure hose that comes with the unit into the coil outlet on the pressure washer. Be sure the trigger gun is in the locked off position. Turn on the water and move the trigger gun lock to the on position. Squeeze the trigger on the gun to purge the system of excess air before starting the unit. Now you are ready to start the pressure washer. Turn the engine switch on and the gas lever on. Slide the choke lever to the open position and the throttle lever to the left, or the full throttle position. Make sure the burner switch is in the off position. Holding the gun assembly firmly in your hand, point it in a safe direction and squeeze the trigger to release the pressure. Failure to release the pressure will make it impossible to start the engine. Pull the recoil on the engine. The engine should start on the first or second pull. When the engine starts, release the trigger gun and close the choke. At this point, the unit is operating as a cold water pressure washer. It is important that you make sure the pressure washer never runs in the bypass mode for more than 2 minutes. To operate as a hot water pressure washer, move the burner switch to the on position. On initial startup, water will begin heating in approximately 20 seconds and will reach maximum temperature in approximately 2.5 minutes. As you can see, hot water pressure washers have an advantage over cold water machines for specific cleaning applications. To remove oil, grease, tar, or other sticky substances, such as gum in a stadium, there is nothing better than a hot water pressure washer. For even greater cleaning power, use detergent that is specifically developed for use with your hot water pressure washer. First, put the detergent hose into the detergent container and open the detergent valve on the pressure washer. To begin drawing detergent, you must open the handle on the dual lance wand by turning it clockwise. Mighty M detergent is specifically designed to break down dirt, grease, and oils for more cleaning power than water alone. Plus, Mighty M detergent is environmentally friendly. When you are done applying detergent, turn the dual lance wand counterclockwise until closed. Close the detergent valve and rinse the surface thoroughly. When your project is complete, take time to cool down the coil of your pressure washer. Turn the burner off and squeeze the trigger for approximately 1 minute, or until the metal lance feels cool to the touch. Heated water pulls the metals out of hard water and allows them to collect on the coils, so cooling the coil is very important. Turn the engine switch to the off position. Turn the gas lever off. Turn off the water supply and pull the trigger gun to release pressure. Disconnect the high pressure hose from the unit. Disconnect the garden hose. As with all equipment, preventative maintenance of your hot water pressure washer will keep your machine working at its optimal level and minimize issues that may arise. First, you should become familiar with the common parts of the machine and where each is located. While all pressure washers do not have the same parts, they all have the same basic components. This video will show you basic preventative maintenance procedures for a hot water pressure washer. The pump oil should be changed after the first 25 hours of operation on a new machine. After the initial oil change, pump oil should be changed every 250 hours, or every 3 months. It is recommended that you use Mighty M pump oil. Always check the oil level before each use. The engine oil should be changed after the first 10 to 15 hours of operation on a new machine. After the initial oil change, the engine oil should be changed every 100 hours or every 3 months. Use oil recommended in the engine manual supplied by the engine manufacturer. Always check the oil level before each operation. Check the air filter monthly and look for dust and dirt that may clog the filter. Replace the filter a minimum of every 6 months. Be sure to drain the moisture from the heating coil every week by opening the drain valve. The fuel tank should only be filled with clean fuel, and if condensation or water accumulates in the fuel tank, the tank drain can be opened to remove any water. Replace the burner fuel filter every 3 to 6 months. The electrode cone assembly consists of the burner fuel nozzle and burner electrodes. The nozzle cannot be cleaned and should be replaced a minimum of once per year. Be sure to replace it with the same sized nozzle. The burner electrodes should be checked and gapped yearly and replaced based on their condition. Look for ceramic cracks, tips that are not pointed, and a buildup of soot. Heating coil maintenance can be minimized by cooling the unit down properly after each use. Never shut your pressure washer off without first cooling down the boiler. You can do this by turning the burner off and squeezing the trigger for approximately 1 minute, or until the metal lance feels cool to the touch. If you would like assistance with your preventative maintenance procedure, please contact an authorized Mighty M Service Center or the Mighty M Technical Services Department. A problem with your pressure washer may be caused by a pressure washer part that can easily be replaced. This video will show you what to do when the burner will not fire properly. There are 3 important functions that must take place for a hot water pressure washer to perform correctly: delivery of the proper amount of air, electrode spark, and delivery of fuel. A proper amount of air is needed to meet the oxygen requirement for proper combustion. All Mighty M hot water pressure washers are tested for this prior to shipping. To determine if your washer is getting the proper amount of air, check for white smoke at burner ignition. A slight puff of white smoke is normal. Excessive white smoke is not normal and indicates there is too much air at combustion. Not enough air causes black smoke. Do not operate your hot water pressure washer if black smoke is present. The black smoke will not only soot up the water coil, but can cause temperature loss at the trigger gun. A broken or loose belt on the fan affects the airflow and also can affect fuel delivery and spark. This belt should be inspected first to make sure it is working properly. To access the fan belt, remove the inspection plate at the back of the machine just above the fuel tank. You can also check the belt by looking inside the machine directly below the water pump. If the belt is in place and working properly, an adjustment of the control lever may need to be made. The control lever regulates the amount of air delivered, which determines the quality of the burn. If you need to adjust the direction of the airflow, contact a qualified Mighty M Service Center or the Mighty M Technical Services Department for assistance. The ignition spark is distributed by 2 electrodes in the firing chamber of the hot water boiler. These electrodes receive voltage from the ignition coil, which is part of the Mighty M patented EMF system. The main problems that could impact a proper ignition are incorrect gapping of electrodes and cracked electrodes. If these parts are working properly and you still do not have a spark, it could be the result of a bad EMF ignition coil. contact a qualified Mighty M Service Center for further assistance. Without the proper amount of fuel delivery to the electrode assembly, the pressure washer will not perform properly. Fuel is atomized and injected into the combustion chamber by a spray nozzle. The main causes of improper fuel delivery could be a plugged nozzle or a plugged fuel filter. If replacement of these parts does not solve the problem, then you may have a bad fuel pump. Contact a qualified Mighty M Service Center for assistance with the fuel pump. A problem with your pressure washer may be easily diagnosed. This video will show you what to do when the burner will not shut off when the trigger gun is released. With the trigger gun released and the burner still firing, first unplug the fuel solenoid wire from the fuel solenoid coil. If the burner continues to fire with the wire unplugged, then the fuel solenoid piston and coil assembly must be replaced. Contact a qualified Mighty M Service Center or the Mighty M Technical Services Department for assistance.